We are turning this muddy, curdled disaster into liquid velvet. Welcome back to Shove and Drink. Clarified Milk Punch is one of the oldest styles of cocktail in the world. And it's one of the most impressive techniques you can use at a home bar to impress your friends. This technique strips away a lot of the tannins, the bitterness, and some of the color. The result is a cocktail that is crystal clear and has a beautiful velvety texture. So today we're making the Velvet Clarity. This is gonna be a batch cocktail, so you can make a bottle of this and throw it in your fridge and just pour yourself a little glass anytime you want. Full recipe is in the description below. This is what you're gonna need to make your punch. 8 ounces or 240 milliliters of cognac, VSOP. 4 ounces or 120 milliliters of ruby port. We're gonna brew 6 ounces of strong Earl Grey tea, or 180 mils. 4 ounces or 120 mils of fresh lemon juice. Zest from 1 lemon. 4 ounces or 100 grams of white sugar. 1 cinnamon stick. 4 allspice berries, and 2 cloves, all lightly crushed and toasted. And 5 ounces or 150 mils of full-fat coconut milk. So we're starting with 2 tea bags, but instead of just throwing the tea bags in there, we're going to cut the tops off and dump the loose leaf tea down in there. This is gonna make for a much stronger and fuller flavored tea. Now we pour 6 ounces of water over this. And while it's still hot, we're gonna add in our spices. So we've got our cinnamon stick, allspice, and clove. Allow your tea to steep for 5 minutes before you put in your sugar, our white sugar. Now we start building the rest of our punch. Our cognac, ruby red port, lemon peels, and our lemon juice. Now allow your tea to sit until it hits room temperature. Okay, our tea is now room temp, so we're gonna pour this into our punch. Now for the science part. We're gonna heat up our coconut milk until it hits a boil and then turn it off. The reason you want hot milk is because it helps accelerate the coagulation process. When that punch hits the hot milk, it shocks the molecules and begins the coagulation process even faster. The proteins start to bind together in a curd, creating a very heinous looking raft. I like to heat my pan up first and then drop in our coconut milk. So you're gonna bring this up to a boil and turn it off immediately. This is one of the #1 rules when making a clarified punch. You always pour your punch into your cream or your milk. Now we take our mixture and pour it right in. Give a swirl at the end because you're gonna have all the spices and the tea at the bottom. Don't worry, it's supposed to look this disgusting. Now very gently, we're just gonna scrape her on the side and the bottom, and that's it. The reason you wanna pour your punch into your milk is because you want a nice, even coagulation. If you pour the milk into your punch, what happens is you end up with millions of tiny particles of the milk, and it begins to emulsify within the cocktail, making it incredibly difficult to strain. We want bigger, heavier curds. They're really gonna latch on to everything in the cocktail. We gave it that one gentle stir. Now we're gonna cover it and let it sit. The proteins in the coconut milk are grabbing on to all those tannins and stripping our entire punch of its color. At the same time, it's imparting that beautiful velvety texture we want in a milk punch. Now we're gonna let this sit for 2 hours before we start straining it. After 2 hours, this is what we have. A nice, murky, swampy looking mixture, but it smells delightful. Now we strain. I'm using the V60 coffee filters. Don't just pour your mixture directly into this dry filter. Put this into your metal holder and run about a cup of water through it first. It's going to A, prime our paper filter, and B, get rid of the paper taste. When making a milk punch, there's always the first pour rule. So I'm pouring into my mixing glass first. First liquid coming out is going to be cloudy. It's going to have particulates in it. This technique is not unlike a consommé. We are using the milk solids as a filter. It's going to take a while for them to collect along your paper filter, and once they do, the rest of the liquid, when it pours through, will be filtered through the proteins. It's starting to look nice and clear, so swap over to my Chemex. Take the first liquid that was filtered and pour that back in real gentle and slow. And then gently pour the rest of your cocktail in. Now it's a waiting game. We just let this slowly filter out. Now this is likely going to take between 1 and 2 hours, depending on how big of a batch you made. If you made this full recipe, it's gonna take about 2 hours. And after far too long, there is our cocktail. Look how beautiful that is. You can smell the spices. You can smell that amazing Earl Grey tea. Now, let's give it a taste. Got a double rocks glass here. Drop in a nice large sphere. And we're just gonna pour right over the top. The coconut lime bitters, gonna go with 5 drops. And give it a stir. We drop in a freeze-dried lemon wheel. And that is the Velvet Clarity. We went from dark, murky, to crystal clear. Look how beautiful that is. Oh yeah, it's sweet, it's tart. You get those bergamot notes from the Earl Grey tea, good amount of acidity. You can also taste that unbelievable cognac. And the port sneaks in at the end, tasting like raisins. Absolutely delicious. If you make this punch at home, hit that subscribe button and give it a like. Until next time, shut up and drink.